So, Nintendo has officially released a new website in Japan for the upcoming 3.0 update, and it actually gives us some new details, a look at some new artwork, and other cool small things which I think you'll find interesting. Of course, the bulk of the info was revealed in the massive trailer, but there are some really fun new details here that I thought you wouldn't want to miss out on, so we can continue the hype for the update. So let's take a look through this new website and see exactly everything new that we can find. Leave a like on the video if you're excited, and let's jump into it. So we do have this amazing new official artwork to promote the update. It's incredibly cool seeing all of these characters together again and giving us an extended look at the dock. I really love it. It just looks really great. I love all of their new outfits too. It's just crazy that we're actually getting this in 2026. I mean, if you told me that was going to be a thing, I probably wouldn't have believed you. But there it is, a glorious new look at the official artwork for the update. Scrolling down, we can see there's a little recap of the trailer. Of course, we don't need to watch that. Now, there are several different sections of this website, and scrolling down, we can see them. They do mention here that each of the additional features added after the update will become available to enjoy when certain conditions are met in the game. So you won't just be able to have the hotel right away, you won't just be able to have these dream features right away, you'll have to do certain things to unlock them, just like you did with everything in the Animal Crossing 2.0 update. It'll probably be things like having a 3-star island and such. In a weird way, I think it would be kind of cool if you only unlock the hotel after having 5 stars. I know that not everyone has a 5-star island, and maybe that could be a bit too stressful for people, but it would certainly, give people more to work towards rather than just unlocking the content right away. So maybe there are some different ways they could do things, I don't know. But yeah, you'll certainly have to do something before you can unlock it. So this is the section about the hotel. As you can see, we have brand new renders, brand new artwork of all of these characters, which is really great. I love the fact that they have decided to come out with these. We haven't seen anything new like this since the 2.0 update, which is, so long ago at this point. What, nearly 4 years ago? It's crazy to think about, but yeah. Brand new renders for all the different characters. Here they show off examples of some of the different rooms that you could design. I believe most of these were shown off within the trailer, although I do think this is showing some of the new items potentially. I can't remember their names now, but they're sort of beige looking items. You can definitely customize them to look a bit different, which is cool. So yeah, lots of examples of rooms that you can design and such. A lot of the screenshots are taken from the trailer. They also do mention Happy Home Paradise, which is quite funny, as of course we've all made the connection here. And I know some people aren't too happy because they feel like it's so similar, but at the end of the day, not everyone is going to be able to pay for Happy Home Paradise. So having a free version on your island that's slightly different and is more tied to your own personal island, I think is really cool. At the end of the day, it came as a total surprise anyways, so I don't really have anything to complain about personally. I just think it's really great. More about the hotel here, showing some of the potential guests. Now, this is a really interesting screenshot because it shows that potential guests can wander into places like the Able sisters, and you can meet them there to recruit them. So in the trailer, they pretty much just showed us Maggie sort of wandering around the island, but it's not just that. You can see the guests kind of sightseeing around the entire island in the different shops. So that's incredibly cool because I just feel like that makes our island feel a bit more lively. This of course will mean some minor new dialogue for when you meet up with guests and you recruit them. Now, I'm hoping Nintendo will add a lot more dialogue in general to kind of accommodate the fact we'll be seeing more characters around our island now. I'm not getting my hopes up hugely, but I can only imagine they're not going to be saying the same things as our villagers do, as of course we don't know them. But yeah, that is incredibly neat to me that you can just see these characters wandering around. It really does make it feel like your deserted island has become an actual tourist destination, a proper place that you've developed into something really cool. And for all the people who have been saying, I wish I had more than 10 villagers, you kind of do now. The big question is, will they allow these villagers who are staying in the hotel to wander around our island? Because if that's really the case, and we can do that, that'll be incredibly cool, especially if special characters can. Not getting my hopes up, but that would be absolutely amazing. Different little screenshot here of the mannequin feature. We pretty much know all about that. Here they're just promoting Amiibo. We're most likely going to see a big re-release of a lot of Amiibo in time for this update, so keep an eye out for that if you're missing anything. Definitely will be a good time to get your hands on some Amiibo, and when they do announce that, I'll be sure to make a video because that'll be very important. They mention here, which is new info, we didn't know this before, you cannot summon animals that work on the island, such as Tom Nook or Isabel, or special animals that are visiting that day. So for example, if Leaf is currently visiting, I'm guessing you won't be able to invite him to the hotel on that specific day. And on the day where, you know, he is visiting and you've already made him a room, he won't be in there, I guess, to check up on. So they thought about a lot of things here. It makes sense that you can't do it for animals that are working on the island because, again, they have to kind of be available at all times. But, you know, that still leaves a ton of different special characters, including ones that don't usually appear in New Horizons, like Pete, Pelly, Phyllis, etc. So, very exciting stuff overall. Here they show more info about Cap'n and his little transport thing. You know what would be really interesting if somehow this ties into Cap'n's little island adventures? If somehow when you transport these off, maybe you could see them actually on the special islands. I don't know how that would work, but I just think that would be a really neat idea because, you know, it feels very tied into the boat sort of situation. I have to feel like they're going to update Cap'n's islands in some way. I don't think it'll be a major way, but there's going to be some sort of change to them, in my opinion, given the fact that, you know, the dock has been updated and everything has kind of been updated about him. So I'm curious to see what that will be. I'm really interested in what that could potentially be. Here they show off some of the new items. They also have renders of the new items, which look really cool. The Japanese websites are always a lot better than the ones we get in, you know, Europe and America, as they have a ton of cool things like this. So they allow us to actually see some of the new furniture. As far as I know, though, all of these were shown off in the trailer, so there's no new items shown off yet, which is fine. You know, I want to have some surprises, so that's completely okay with me. Again, another new render of Grams. Here they show us new info about the dream thing. Well, I say new info, it's pretty much a recap of what we got, but we do get to see some screenshots and little animations of what it would look like when we're designing and such. So if you missed out on any of that, it's really cool to see. Now, I don't think this is going to happen at all. Don't get me wrong, this is probably not going to happen. But the fact that you can use this dream island to create miniature islands now makes me wonder if they would allow new players to start up an island with a small one. I think not, because I guess then there wouldn't be room for things like resident services and Nook's Cranny and such. But, you know, it's interesting just to have that size feature just for this dream thing. I think it would have been cool if perhaps they could tie that into your actual island and, you know, if you started over, maybe you could do that. But perhaps they wouldn't want to, you know, do that because then people with already established islands might feel a bit left out. So, I don't know, just a thought that I had. Little animation here and some renders. Now, I recognize this render. I don't recognize this one. I think that might be new. A lot of these Animal Crossing renders I know really well because we've had them since 2019. And I've been making Animal Crossing videos actively since that point. So I can remember a lot of these appearing in the lead up to the game actually launching. And yeah, there's some that I recognize, some that I don't, which is interesting. They do also mention here about the fact 12 people can play, but you will need Switch 2 editions to be able to do that. How that's going to work online, I really don't know. So I'm trying to wrap my head around it. If anyone has any thoughts on how it's actually going to work, like between Switch 2 and Switch 1, let me know what you think. Little section about Resetti, which is nice. Not a new render, we've already had that one, but it's very suspicious now that they made this totally brand new render for him years ago when he's not really truly appeared in the game outside of the Roost. So maybe they were planning this for a long time. I think it's certainly possible. I'm just so happy he's actually back though. I've seen people talking about, okay, he's wandering around our island, you know, will that mean we have to find him every time we want to clear things out? I don't think so. I don't think he's just going to be permanently wandering around. I think it'll be like Red, where, you know, he wanders around the first time, and then you probably use an app to summon him anytime, you know, you want to clear things out. But it does seem like he will at least be summoned physically each time you want to clear things, which is really cool. I hate it when it's just a menu and characters have been replaced by menus. Let the actual physical character appear around our island again. Very, very happy about that. Mentioning the storage here they do give us some new renders of some of the brand new collaboration items. They mention that new things will be available to purchase at Tanuki Shopping and Resort Hotel. Of course, it's interesting because I'm trying to think here. A lot of these won't be available at the Nook Shopping, surely? I guess the Lego things will? Okay, yeah. I guess they're not necessarily mentioning some of the Amiibo items, which will only be available, once you actually scan them. I guess they'll elaborate on that later. Yeah, more renders of the new items. Super, super cool. You've got to love to see it. I mean, they're really, really great. I just can't wait to get my hands on some of these. The Lego collaboration is great. I know a lot of people aren't going to be as excited about this because, the Lego stuff isn't as aesthetically pleasing as a lot of other Animal Crossing items. But I love the fact that it's in the game on the basis that, we got the real world Lego collab. So the fact that it's now made it into the game itself kind of legitimizes the collaboration even more and kind of certifies it in gaming history for me. So I love that. I love that it goes both ways now. I think that's fantastic. Here is a really, really cool look at some of the new outfits that we haven't seen so far. I don't believe we saw this Majora's Mask item. It might have been hung up on the wall, but we didn't see it on a player, so that's really neat. And of course, the old Zelda outfit as well. You gotta love it. It's so, so good. I'm really, really glad that they've shown some of these off. Definitely really neat. Also, we have brand new renders for Chulin and Mineru. These are newly designed renders, which is really great. Can you believe we're getting brand new Animal Crossing villagers in 2026? And it's not for a new Animal Crossing game, it's for New Horizons. It's crazy. It really makes me hope that these are in the next Animal Crossing game from day one. That would be good, or at least a very early update. I know some people are disappointed it's so late on, but to be fair, the Zelda collaboration and Splatoon collaborations came years later on into Animal Crossing New Leaf, and I don't think people really complained about that. So, I'd understand if it was just a complete repeat of all the stuff we got in New Leaf, but stuff like these new villagers and many of the new items are completely new, so I don't mind them being added in a little bit later on. It's more, kind of content that gets rehashed from older games that I would have liked to have seen from the beginning. So, yeah, really cool. Little section for Splatoon. Again, some new images of the characters wearing the outfits. We didn't get to see these at all, I don't think, throughout there. They might have been slightly wearing little things, but here's a much better look at the new Splatoon outfits, which is really cool. Also, new renders of Cece and Viche in their outfits for the game. They look really great. I absolutely love the fact that we're getting all of this. It really does feel like the 2.0 update all over again, which is mind-blowing to me. I just can't believe that we're here at this point now where we're seeing this stuff again. So yes, that basically does conclude everything on this new website, but lots of really interesting, small and fun little new details and images to check out from the update that was previously unknown. So yeah, I really enjoyed this and I hope you did too. It was definitely a lot of fun. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you made it to the end, be sure to comment Bob's Gang so I know you did. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe and turn on notifications for more.